What's up, guys? Python here, back with another video, and today I want to talk about, since things have kind of settled down and it's been tough to make a video with everything going on with the Rangers right now. It's been tough to sit down, talk about this team, and I definitely want to get into some things because there's a couple things to talk about when it comes to the head coaching search right now. And of course, we have the absolute clown show that is Gerard Gallant. And there's just been so much that has came out ever since he has got fired that we now know that we didn't know at the time. And what an absolute fraud this guy truly is. And it is unreal, the stuff that we didn't know that was going on behind the scenes that we now do know, thanks to many reports, which we're going to dive into all of it. And I'm going to talk mostly about the Gerard Gallant stuff at first. I think I want to start there, and then I'm going to talk about the head coaching search and what my opinion is on it, because I haven't really voiced too much of my opinion on the head coaching search outside of a couple tidbits on the podcast. If you guys didn't watch that episode, go check it out. But that was also kind of more just the raw emotion and just the season just ended, how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. I've had a couple days now to process, weeks now pretty much to process what I want. Not necessarily what I want a head coach, because it's hard to get exactly what I want. And I made it abundantly clear that I'm not going to be able to celebrate no matter who the head coach is, the next head coaches of the New York Rangers. I think I made that abundantly clear, but I'm going to talk about all of it. I don't want to go on a tangent here just yet, but before we dive further into it, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially for Ranger fans. We're going to cover them all off season long, all next season long, and rinse and repeat with that. We're going to talk about them over and over again. So if you do enjoy, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next on the channel. But let's talk about this. I feel rusty making a video right now, I'm not going to lie. But the clown show that was Gerard Gallant. So we already heard about the fact that him and Chris Drury had an altercation after Game 4. We heard the way that players spoke in the exit interviews to the media. But Larry Brooks dropped an article, and this was one of the following tidbits that I took away from it. I ended up putting it up on Twitter as well because I found it very interesting. And it says, Drury needs to go with his gut here. He needs a coach who has the technical ability to help this veteran team take the next step in the playoffs when matching and strategic adjustments become paramount, while treating the players in the same empowering and professional manner that marked Gallant's tenure. Our understanding is that players were asking for help during exit interviews. Yes, so you had players asking Chris Drury for help. Basically, what I'm taking away from this, I have no actual information. This is just what I think went down is, I have a feeling that players said things to Chris Drury that they didn't like about Gerard Gallant. Gallant and Drury got into a couple shouting matches, and it ultimately led to the firing of Gerard Gallant. I think that's what it led to. And what a clown show this guy is, and what a fraud Gerard Gallant is. Not making it past 2.5 years in any of his destinations. Just the clown show. No system, no adjustment, nothing. Just an absolute pathetic coach. And you know what? I said that maybe he would be the right fit for another team, and maybe he's not that bad of a coach. But the more and more we're learning, the more and more I think that he does not deserve another head coaching gig in the NHL. And the less and less sorry I'm feeling for him for losing this job, because it's your job to get the players motivated. It's your job to treat them all equally. It is your job to have a system in place and to get them prepared. And when a player asks for damn help, for crying out loud, it is your job to be able to help out and have answers to whatever problem this may be or whatever problem that may be. It can't just be all that. And then you had everything. I mean, you could just tell it is way too loosey-goosey in the clubhouse there. No, you need somebody that's going to come in and bring some sort of structure and all eyes on the coach, and it's going to be a different story with whoever. Now, I'm trying to understand this because it also says in this that the players want to feel more comfortable with the new head coach. And it's like, where do you find the balance of getting a disciplinarian and then getting a guy that's not too much of a hard ass? It's kind of a tough balance for the Rangers to try and figure out right now. And I just don't know who the answer is. I don't, to tell you the truth, which is where we're going to segue into who I want. And who I want, I don't know. I truly don't know who I want as the Rangers head coach. Now, I understand that there was no shot. Well, there was a little. We had a little bit of hope that Mike Sullivan maybe would lose his job, but there was a very little percentage that was going to happen. Now, he already made the quote that he's going to be loyal to Pittsburgh and he's remaining in Pittsburgh, whatever the quote was. Something about his commitment being to Pittsburgh. But that's off the table. Realistically, I look at it like this. You have your Jim Montgomerys. You have your John Coopers. You have your Mike Sullivans, like I mentioned. Who am I forgetting that's in that top tier? But regardless, you have your top tier coaches, and then there's a significant drop off. In my opinion, you could get yourself a guy in that tier because I think Gallant is a tier below, and then you have the tier above. I think that there's somewhere in the middle here we can meet. Is it going to be this perfect, like everyone could celebrate and we're all going to sing Kumbaya, all of that with the next head coach? No, I don't think that we could celebrate, like I said earlier, and I don't think that realistically whoever the head coach is a no-brainer. That is the guy, because right now everyone's mixed on Twitter either way with who they want. You got Knobloch's name being thrown out there by the fans. You have Spencer Carberry now also entering the mix according to Elliot Friedman. Peter Laviolette's in the mix, Mike Babcock, all these names. And to me, I want someone, personally, I would prefer them to go the veteran route. I would prefer them to go the veteran route because we can't go through another new guy. We can't. We saw what happened with David Quinn, and he tried too much. It was too fake, the whole tough, hit my desk there, the whole tough guy act with him. It was too fake, and it was too obvious that he was not the real deal, and he was trying to be a disciplinarian, but realistically, the players just did not care about a single thing yet to say, and he just lost the room quickly. Which, again, also, I'm going to say this, that the players have to respond to this coach, otherwise, it's their turn to go after this, because we can't just be doing this every time with a new head coach, being like, yep, I give up. Yep, get a new head coach for me, Drury. No, this next head coach needs to be not necessarily the guy, but it needs to be somewhat of the right guy. And to me, I think that you look at a couple guys there that you could potentially hire. My personal choice right now, if I had to pick, would probably be like, it's tough because I'm not saying that this is the guy that it's like, yeah, I absolutely am dying on a hill for, but I would personally like a guy like Laviolette, or I would like a guy like Babcock. And I know everyone probably lost their mind the minute I said Babcock, because I put up polls on Twitter. I know everyone is super anti-Babcock. I get it. I know the whole situation that went down Toronto and Detroit with players not necessarily liking him. But you need someone to get in this locker room that's handled the top-end media. Laviolette's been in New York before. You have Babcock, who dealt with the Toronto media. You need a guy that's going to go in that locker room, get respect right away, like I mentioned, and both of them have a cup under their belt. And I also just like the fact that they are familiar with the game. They've been around the block for a while. I know there's something to be said about, well, maybe they need to go new school and those guys are way too old school at this point. I understand the argument for that, but to me, I just feel like the players aren't going to take a guy seriously like a Knobloch, like a Carberry. And my question is, why go for Spencer Carberry when I think that Sheldon Keefe is going to lose his job? And you might as well just go for the guy that he's working with, the guy Carberry's working with in Sheldon Keefe, because one, he's actually been a head coach. Two, he's handled the Toronto media, which, again, like with Babcock, it's very important because he needs to know how to deal with that sort of thing, especially coming to New York. And it's just, again, you've seen the way that he's kind of a hard ass when it comes to coaching. Granted, there's something to be said about the fact that his star players haven't necessarily responded to him, but the question is that the players being soft, or is that him? I'm not entirely sure there, and that's where I'm scared that we're going to run into the same thing here, where the players are too soft here and they're not going to respond to any of these coaches. I just don't. I have a player concern as much as I have a coaching concern at this point, because I can't look at a guy and be like, they're the right fit for this team. Knobloch, I understand. He's familiar with the organization. There's players that he knows. But at the same time, are the veterans going to take Knobloch seriously? I don't know. I just don't know. And my head's all over the place when it comes to this coaching search. I have zero clue where they're going to go, but it's tough. It's tough to say what they should do. The Rangers are just in such a tricky spot right now. They really are. And this is the most lost I've ever felt, truly, as a Ranger fan. And that's not hyperbole. That's not over-exaggerating or anything. No, I seriously, for the first time as a Ranger fan, feel genuinely lost with where this team is going to go, because I just genuinely don't know if there's a coach that's going to get the most out of these players. I don't know if the players are going to respond to the coach. I just don't know. I just don't know with any of it. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know who you guys want the Rangers to hire. Would love to hear from you guys. And yeah, that's going to be all for me. Hopefully, I don't have to keep talking about this, and we'll probably do a podcast episode sometime soon. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll keep you guys updated. And then the next video will probably be about whoever the next head coach is. But we're going to talk about all of it throughout the offseason, and hopefully time keeps going quick so we could just get to where at least there's going to be some moves this offseason. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's go, Rangers.